Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. This is your boy Idle Trash, better known as the shitposter on Twitter and maybe on YouTube. You've probably seen my video popping around. I'll probably put it somewhere like right here, maybe. Uh, but I know it's something a little bit different from what I'm usually used to doing, either shitposting or trying to make the funnies on online. But I did want to try, putting my hand on actual content creation to kind of, do something else relating to my hobbies. So I figured, why not start off with a deck profile for a card game I like playing. So I'll go ahead and let the next idle trash, maybe I think he's gonna be right there, and he'll take over. He'll do the rundown of the deck, quick card by card choice, and kind of like the thought process on why I chose some of these cards. So in that case, I'll let him take over. Whoop. So, with the release of A Brush of Legends second box for Vanguard Overdress, we got a little bit more support, albeit not as much as like the other builds as much as I'd like, but so far with this new support, I've been pretty content with it. So, starting off with our Grade 0, our Triconnect Sorceress, riding on top of that with our Tier Square Sorceress, using Pentagleam right on top of her to get the Counterblast 1 to draw a card, and then finally Hex Orb Sorceress to do the look at top 3 and rearrange them however I like. So you'll see why with the options I chose to run basically these two only in the ride deck. Personally, I don't see multiple uses of these effects. For Pentagleam, looking at top 1 and choosing it go on top or bottom is nice, but compared to 1 or 2, obviously 2 is a lot better, so I'd rather run her primarily for the Hex Orb ride. And the Tier Square Sorceress, I don't really see much action because I used to run, I believe, like 2 in the first set, but her second effect barely popped up for me, so I didn't really see a necessity to actually run that card. Moving on to the Grade 3 lineup in the main deck, we're going to be playing the 3 obvious Hex Orb Sorceress for the Persona ride. If you don't know already, main effect is when you drive check a trigger, choose one of your rear guards, it gets plus 10k until the end of turn, and if you Persona ride once per turn, you can Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, reveal up to 1 crit or front trigger in your hand and put on top of your deck. So pretty good for stacking material for the late game. Then we run the what the heck? Where's my Fossado? Oh, there we go. So we run 3 Fossado. Pretty strong card, I think. I feel like if you're playing Keter Sanctuary, this is just a must run. If the attack hits, you get to Soul Charge 1 and Counter Charge 1. Then we have the Octa Devote Sorceress. Her effect reads: when you drive check a trigger unit, if your Vanguard is Hex Orb Sorceress, I can retire the unit, Counter Charge, and Soul Charge 1. So that's pretty strong. Normally, with the build, I would prefer to have Octa Devote Sorceress in the back row, because I'm not really going to be attacking with her. And then finally, the Divine Sister Lepisto. Lepisto, just too good. Especially since you're manipulating your top deck to be trigger related. You reveal 1 trigger, Counterblast 1, restand the unit, and it gets plus 5 until end of turn. So instead of pushing for 13 normally, by herself she's pushing for 18, 28 if you're giving her the trigger. So definitely going to have to cost your opponent to have the 15k shield. Then next up for our Grade 2 lineup, this is going to be not too spectacular, but we're running 4 Exquisite Knight Ulwanes. So with Ulwane, when you call him to the rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is Hex Orb, you can Soul Blast 1, look at the top 2 cards from your deck, and choose up to 2. Remember, up to 2, so you don't have to necessarily really stack the cards. But you choose up to 2, put them on top of your deck, the rest go on the bottom of your deck. So again, deck manipulation, 2 is better than 1, so I'd rather run Ulwayne over Pentagleam. And next up we have our grade 1s. I feel like the grade 1s and the grade 3s are essentially what make up this deck. But we're going to start off with the newest card, Diaglass Sorceress. This is basically going to have the, if you remember old format, the Gold Paladin, Royal Paladin effect where you call them and then you pay the cost to call units from your deck. Feel like this is a pretty decent effect. It reads, if you place it on the rearguard circle from hand, if your vanguard is either Hex Orb or Pentagleam, you can you can counterblast 1, discard a card from the top of your hand, or from your hand, and you choose up to 2 cards from your deck, the top of your deck, and you can call in the rearguard circle. So again, deck manipulation, plus you're not really expending cards in your hand, which could be used for shields later on your next turn if you don't, kill them on that turn. Then we're also running the 4 Divine Sister Tartine. So I'm still kind of experimenting with this ratio. Divine Tartine, when you call her rearguard, Soul Blast 1, stress the unit, choose 2 cards from the top of your deck, choose one to go top, one in the bottom. Yeah, still kind of experimenting with it, not sure how I want the ratio, but 8 seems to be fine too, because if it's too early game, at least I can use it as fodder for the right deck. And then this one might be a little bit controversial, but I'm going to be running 2 Painkiller Angels. So with this, I feel like the draws are especially important since we basically took out the order spell that lets you counterblast 1 to draw 2 cards. I think just early game being able to draw cards, thin out the deck, it's pretty good. If anything, I might switch this to be the 3-3 ratio, but so far 2 has been working pretty well because I don't want to expend too much of my Soul Blast. And then finally, the Better Perfect Guards, the Aegis Mare Dragon, is just too good. If you're low in hand, 2 cards or less, play the card in the Guardian Circle without paying the cost. And then finally, we're going into the trigger lineup. So we have our, of course, 1 Overdrive trigger, the Armentoa. Armentoa basically reads the generic over trigger effects and then the additional effect. Until the end of the turn, your front row rear guards also gain drive checks. So using the Ulwayne and then the Fasado or Fasado Lepisto, you're going basically +6 on average, +7 if you're persona ridden. So that's just pretty strong. Like how many other decks do you know that that lets you go like +7, right? Then of course we're running the 4 heal triggers. I kind of wish I had more stand triggers, so I'd probably run 1 more. But this is the incorrect stand trigger. I should be getting the new stand trigger sometime soon. Then we have 2 draws again. Perfect fodder for the right deck, and then just 2 more chances to draw cards from my deck. And then we're running a total of 6 crits. So if anything, I'd probably make for the future build maybe 4, 5, 2, 4, 1. I don't know. So I've been pretty content with the build. I know it's not really top tier for the game, but I've always been an OTT Genesis boy since the start of Vanguard. All right, and that was the Hex Orb build. Let me know what you guys thought at the description, comments down below. Obligatory YouTuber quotes. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I know it's a little bit different from my usual shit posting on Twitter and YouTube, but I figured I wanted to do something different. I'm trying to expand more on actually doing content with stuff I like. So I know I used to do Grand Blue stuff. Still want to, just haven't had the motivation to do it because of COVID. But at least with card games, I can hop in the Discord call and play with the homies. So I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Maybe we'll do some duels or something. Bye.